Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I titled this message, When They Call Them Bad, Evil, or Difficult. When they call them bad, evil, or difficult. And this message is targeted to those individuals who, unfortunately, you were called these things and you don't believe that you are. Okay? You have told yourself, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm not bad. I'm not difficult. I'm not evil. And there are those who are not that. It's a bad choice of words to describe some individuals, but others are really bad, evil, and or difficult. Okay. And when someone states this or a group states this, whether you are in a leadership position or not, whether you are an owner of a business or not, or a patriarch or matriarch, or maybe you are not in a family, the point is that is what they're saying valid? Is it truthful? Is it accurate? Is it a fact? If someone calls someone bad, evil, difficult, there must be something that they said or they did to make the person or the group feel that that is what they are. The bad minister, the bad teacher, the bad manager, the bad mother, the bad father, the bad sister, brother, the bad owner. What makes them so bad? That is the question. When God shines the light on someone or a group, you best believe that that light is so bright. There's so many signs. There's so many conversations. There's so much evidence that says, oh, there's no doubt about it. And there will be those that will say, no, you're incorrect. That's not right. There will be those that will say that that's not a fact, or you got your story wrong, or you don't know what you're talking about, or you're jealous, or you're just trying to cause division. There will always be those minions, if you will, those supporters of the bad that will rise up to protect the one who's being accused. But when bad is bad, there is no doubt about it. There is no questioning. It is what it is. It shows itself, that demonic entity of sorts, shows itself to be a child of darkness. Okay? Within the individual who keeps stuff going, who brings about all sorts of demonic confusion. We're not talking about godly types of things that arise that look like troublemaking. For instance, when Jesus was doing what he was doing and the Pharisees considered him to be a troublemaker. We're not talking about the righteousness of God at work. We're talking about straight up difficult, bad types of folk. Okay, evil. And once again, the question remains, what makes them so evil, bad, or difficult? Well, first of all, people who just simply don't want to reach a compromise. Even when there is benefit to the compromise, even when it's going to bring about peace, that evil worker is going to continue to bring about some drama, some trauma, some things that'll keep people from paying close attention to what he or she is up to next. So no, I don't want to reach a compromise because the compromise isn't going to benefit me, says the evil person. And besides, I don't like these people, and they deserve to be punished for all of what they've done to me by not going along with my program or programs. The other thing is that the people who are watching the evil worker, bad, difficult person at work, they, after a while, are not going to go along with some things because they simply don't want to be thrown under the bus. So they will fight up against what they don't agree with, what they don't believe, what goes against the company handbook that has been successful for umpteen years. And now the evil worker shows up and says, there are no rules. I am the one that makes up the rules as we go along. And once again, it's about what benefits him or her. It's not about what benefits the collective. It's what makes me look good in the eyes of my superiors. What's going to keep a roof over my head. What's going to shine the light upon me, says a narcissist type of leader. I'm not concerned about those people. They got their share of curse words that they say. They can go somewhere else. They just better follow suit with whatever I tell them to do or else. Okay? Difficult people may exhibit some signs of good behavior every now and again, but they're difficult because people can't seem to get along with them. People bring up suggestions. People talk about what they don't like and how we can improve upon this. The evil worker, difficult worker, what have you, says, how much money is this going to cost? No, it doesn't make me look good. What is it that I'm going to have to do? Oh, no, I'm not doing all of that. You can forget that. What, you want me to say what? Oh, no, that's my buddy. That's my friend. We go way back. You want me to help those people? Well, those people, I don't like those people. I want to help these people because these people got the money. These people got the fame. These people are going to empower me in the future. Those other folks, they're just, and they got their names for them. The writing is on the wall. The Lord shows you. And so what you do in situations like this is, number one, you always pray. Number two, you always seek additional counsel for the information that's been brought to you. Okay, what is it that we should do? A, B, and C. And that counsel that you seek should not be, of course, the evil, bad, or difficult worker that folks have been saying or talking about or rumoring about. That's not where you get the information. You don't tell the snake that there are a bunch of enemies around them or around her. You don't sound the alarm on the trouble when you don't even know all the details of what might the trouble be. You have to sit back and ponder some things. You have to pay closer attention to what's happening. And this sort of thing, when it comes to children in darkness, what they reveal doesn't always happen overnight. Sometimes it takes days, weeks, months, even years for somebody to be exposed. There are many who have had to be long suffering in a difficult environment before there was enough evidence that showed that this person definitely is not a good president, a good leader, a good, and you can fill in the blank. But people are good actors and actresses in the beginning. They always show themselves to be the type of folks, and that's good, bad, or otherwise. They always show themselves to be the type that are, number one, folks who get along with others. 2, pleasant, easy to work with. 3, they appear to care about others. But over time, when issues arise, when situations become quite challenging, you start to see them fall apart, so to speak. The mask comes off. Oh, I realize he or she is not as nice as he or she claims to be, or what they presented before us. These individuals have some troubling things about their personality. And then you who are observing these things, or the group that is sitting back questioning whether or not we should keep this one or that one on board, you've got to look beyond just what is nice and what's sweet and what's okay and what's all right. You've got to be the one that, even though you might like that person, you've got to look at things in an objective way, in a way that's not biased. So what that he bought this, that, and the other for you. So what that you all went on a vacation together. I remember there was a group of women who was in a workplace setting that was always going places together after work. and their favoritism of each other started to trickle down into the workplace in how they did things. They were always looking to protect one another in whatever situation. So when the people who worked under them would say something about the other one and how she handled the job, or, this one over here, and she did this, that, and the other, the team that was always hanging out with one another would protect each other. Okay, well, just in case she goes to this one or that one, you make sure, because there were those that were not buddies, that did not hang out. And so they would always come up with the story to make sure that that person who brought the story, who brought the complaints, concern, what have you, would be discredited in some way. And they made sure to nitpick and document every little itty bitty thing. So that way, when the individual would go to the parties who did not hang out with them, their story would be shot as soon as it came out. You see how people work? And some folks wouldn't look at that as being bad or evil or difficult, but it is when you have an operation to run and you don't do things in the way that you should do them. And when people bring information out to correct you, to rebuke you, to, basically tell you that things need to be better, and you're looking for a story to make them look bad, what does that make you? That doesn't make you a quality leader. That makes you one that's always looking out for yourself, a selfish leader. And nowadays, the word narcissism gets thrown around, but you got a lot of narcissistic type of people who are running organizations. It's not about the people. It's about themselves. It's about protecting oneself. It's about making oneself feel good. It's about making sure their favorites get taken care of. It's about overlooking the truth that comes out of people's mouths and believing the lies, the flattery. Difficult, bad, evil workers in the Lord shows these people in so many different ways. Difficult, bad, evil relatives, difficult, bad, evil associations and organizations that are out here that are hell bent on making sure that their team, their group, their minions get the best, while the others who are not going to go along with the negative programming, toxic programming, controlling programming, brainwashing programming gets thrown under the bus. And some people say, you know what? If there's more money, more power, more fame, I'm willing to throw some folks under the bus. Well, what does that make you? Just as evil, just as difficult, just as bad as those that you follow after. You see, there's a lot of people who like to point the finger at those people over there. Okay, those people over there usually are the people that they don't like because they don't look a certain way, talk a certain way. They're not the same ethnicity, as I've mentioned in other audio. But if you happen to be like me, then I guess we okay, we all right. You see this sort of thing even with some of the Christians. As long as you're this denomination, okay, we're going to let you in. Oh, but you're that denomination, and we don't like that denomination because they say this, do this. But don't we all serve the same God? Oh, I don't know about all that. Oh, don't they believe in Jesus? Well, that group doesn't really believe that Jesus is the Son of God. Oh, okay. So then what do we do with those people? We just don't deal with them. Oh, really? But aren't we supposed to be witnessing? Aren't we supposed to be talking? Aren't we supposed to be trying to find some meeting of the minds to work together? Oh, you got all that because I don't have that type of time, energy, or money. You see? But what if God is calling some people to deal with the most difficult, most ugly, most vile, evil, bad types of folks? What if God is using individuals as well as groups to reach the minds, reach the ears, reach the pocketbooks of those individuals who we define as evil, bad, difficult, unrighteous, children of darkness? Then what? Some would say God wouldn't do that. Oh, but I beg to differ. I've been placed in some interesting settings. And can I tell you that while those on the outside looking in would say I would never Sometimes you find yourself doing some things that would raise the eyebrows of some folks, but that is because there are certain individuals that God has selected, that God has favored, that God wants on his team, and you are strategically placed in those areas for the time being to reach some folks. Your light shines not because it's about dividing people up all the time, because sometimes that does happen, but there comes a season where there is no division, but there is a compromise, and there is a meeting of the minds on certain issues so that other things can get done. You do sometimes align yourself with the most unlikeliest people in order to get the righteous will of the Lord done. No, not everybody is going to fit our checklist of what we consider to be righteous, godly, and what have you. But God's checklist is defined accordingly. And when it is, you are to be that one that, yes, you expose, but in the process of exposing, you also bring together those people who God has called, who God has chosen, who are the appointed and anointed ones, even if they don't look like what we think. Case in point, Saul in the Bible, who later became Paul. There were those individuals who worked around him or worked with him. And in all of what he was doing, they may not have been supportive, but he, in time, was chosen by the one true God. You see, we don't know what the future looks like for those Sauls around us. Today they look quite evil, dark, bad. Can't seem to figure out what they want to do to help humanity. They're so used to destroying, to killing, to stealing from. But one day Saul's going to become Paul. And that's why some folks still keep the faith, still pray, even when some folks should have long left atmospheres, long left, Lord Jesus, some relationships. They're sitting back and they're waiting for Saul to become Paul. I hope that some folks caught this message and they realize that God is definitely still at work. Some of you all may not have expected this message to take such a turn, but it did, because it's for some and not all. I thank you as always for taking the time out of your busy schedule to listen. May God richly bless you as well as those that you love, and those that are quite difficult. Please do check the description box for anything that might be of interest. And for those who would like to just give in some way, there are different ways to give, and you can see that in the description box as well. Blessings to you.